Yo, what is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So if you couldn't already tell from the title, today we're going to be doing a shiny only hardcore Nuzlocke randomizer on Pokemon X. That's quite a lot of shit to say, but basically the reason we're doing such a challenge is in celebration of 3.3k. It's been the goal for a bit of a while now. We finally hit it, and now onwards and upwards to 3.5. So if you're new to the channel and find yourself enjoying the content, do remember to smash that big red button, and also say hi down in the comments if you become a new subscriber. Anyway, basically I assume you all know the rules by now, so I'm going to flash the rules up on the screen anyway, but I'm not going to read them all out to you like normal. You can feel free to pause it. I've also tried to keep all my shiny reactions in as well, so hopefully you're going to enjoy that part. But anyway, with that done, let's go move on into things. So we pick our name as Ant, and then we go meet up with our friends to go get our first Pokemon. And we look at our options here. We've got a Seadra, Natu, and Licky Licky. So I'll go take the Licky Licky out of the three. And then we go head into a bunch of fights with a Shauna. Basically doing it a bunch of times to try and get a shiny. It just wasn't coming. It wasn't coming for so long. I think this one took something like a day and a half, honestly. But, you know, after a long grind of trying it and getting into this fight multiple times, it finally came. Right, I don't even know why I'm still doing it now. Oh my... Yes! Fucking finally, man! Ah, that took so fucking long. After we got the Licky Licky out of that battle, we go look, and it's a Dragon Bug type, and it's got the Clefairy ability, Sassy Nature. And then we over leveled, so we actually weren't able to go fight the first gym with our Licky Licky. So what we had to do then is we had to look for another shiny, and this happened. Oh! Yes! Oh, finally! Let's fucking go! That's the one I wanted as well. Watch it like be an absolute... not get into my Pokeball for ages. Just watch. Yes! Oh, I'm so happy with that. Alright, let's go check this thing out then. Summary. It's a neutral name. It's got Contrary. What the fuck? Yo, that could be so fucking cool. With that done, we go do some training on our Deoxys, and we go head into the first gym fight of the run against Viola. So Viola's going to start off with a Clauncher. We're going to start off with Deoxys, because out of the two Pokemon we own, we're only allowed to use one of them basically, because the other one is above level cap. So we send out Space. And basically, we're just going to go for some Flame Burst and some Mystical Fires and all these other moves that we've got, and try and do as much damage as we can to win the fight. Just so everyone knows, leveling above the level cap in the fight doesn't count as over leveling. So we go for another Flame Burst there on the Mandibuzz, take that down, and that's the first gym leader defeated. Hey, yes, I'm going to take it. Beautiful. I don't mind, honestly. I'll take it. Give this a nickname as Sect real quick. Oh, I can't fucking believe it. I weren't even recording when I found this. It looks so nice too. Well, this is going to get the nickname of Karma because I weren't recording. That's what I get. Hey! Yes, let's go. Okay. Okay, nice. Shiny Whimsicott. Please stay in my Pokeball this time. Please. Come on. Hey! Wait. Hey! Ah, you're going to get the nickname of Cloud. No, that could be insane. Please learn. Oh my fucking god. I broke the game. I was praying to find Overheat, but you know what? This could be just as insane, honestly. But anyway, basically, after we go teach V-Create to our Deoxys, we go ahead into the second gym leader of the run. This is Grant. He sends out a Cast Form. We send out Space again. We've actually got 5 Pokemon now as well. That's actually insane. But anyway, what we start off with here is we go for a V-Create. And basically, it's Stab move because our Deoxys is a Fire type. But not only that, with the Contrary ability as well, basically, our very low defense stats are going to get risen, and also speed as well, so it's very good for us there. Honestly though, I really wanted Overheat when I saw Contrary and a Deoxys, but V-Create just as broken, honestly. So yeah, we had some very big fortune in this run, so much to the point where Deoxys was probably not even fair, but hey, it's a shiny Pokemon. I got it legit, so it counts. But then the second Pokemon comes in, and that's a Vanillux. I might have to speed up some of these fights as well. These are going very, very, very slowly. But another V-Create here on the Vanillux. That will put it down into one shot. He'll hit us with an Icicle Crash. But then on the very next turn after this, we're going to go for another V-Create. Take down the Vanillux. And that will get us our second gym badge. So right now, we have to go get into a fight with Karina. Basically, I'm not going to show every single thing that happens. I'm just going to show the main fights and all this different stuff. Otherwise, I feel like the video will be way too long. But in our first fight against Karina, she starts off with a C-Dot. We send out Deoxys. And basically, you know what we're going to do. We're going to V-Create. You're probably going to see that a lot in this video, honestly. C-Dot goes down. Maybe this fight doesn't even need to be in the video. I'm not sure how important of a fight this is in the main game. So for Weepinbell here, another V-Create. I know we've just introduced you, Weepinbell, with a hello, but now it's goodbye. And with that, it's the Karina fight defeated. Well, won. I don't even know what this place is called, but in this tower, we have to fight Serena for the Mega Bracelet, basically. So we're going to start off the fight. They're going to send out Torterra, and you probably guessed it. We lead Deoxys. Of course we do. Why wouldn't we? So for the Deoxys here, we're going to V-Create the Torterra. Take that down with a one-shot. Then a Mantike comes, so for Mantike we're going to V-Create again. And then next we've got Groudon, so for Groudon here, again another V-Create. You know what's nice about Serena as well, every time you battle her, she's got new Pokemon, so it's almost like she's playing a Nuzlocke as well, or the Nuzlocke rules work everywhere because she never has the same Pokemon. It's like they die on the fights against Deoxys. We go level up to level 31 there, which means we don't have to do too much training to hit our level cap and get into the next fight with Karina, the gym leader. So for the Karina fight, if you didn't already guess before, well, I'm sure you'll guess this time. She sends out Maractus, and very surprisingly, we send out Space. I just don't want my Pokemon to die, and Space isn't going to let that happen. So Deoxys starts off with a V-Create on Maractus, and it's super effective as well. But we take that down. And then nextly she sends in a Nincada. So we're not worried about this, are we? We're going to go for another V-Create and take that down. And then nextly she's got Drapion. So Drapion here, we're of course going to go for another V-Create and try and do what we can. And with Deoxys being as broken as it is, it also one-shots a Drapion. So Karina gets swept. And we win the third gym badge. Outside of this now on the next route, we go into the tall grass. Because we want to get a 6th member of our party. And well... Oh! Shit, I didn't even realise it was shiny. Fuck. Yeah, I'll take it. Anything works, honestly. And then in the next city, outside the gym, we have to get into another fight with Serena. I actually don't know where I am. Is this Lumoy's city? I'm confused. The background looks Lumoy's, but I feel like my next fight wasn't meant to be here. I don't know. Oh well. We take down a Simisage with a V-Create, leading with Deoxys again, of course. And then Malamar comes, so for Malamar, we're not worried about this. Another V-Create, take this down. We actually don't do any damage to that. I thought we'd done way more. But anyway, now we know that V-Create doesn't do much, so we're going to go for a knockoff. And knockoff will put that down into one shot. It will use Kinesis, raise our accuracy. And we're going to go for another knockoff because we know it kills. So with that knockoff done, Malamar goes down. With this in, she sends out her Curlia, her last Pokemon. And we're going to take this down with a V-Create, because why not? And Deoxys has basically dragged us through another fight single-handedly. With that done, we go ahead into the next gym. And it's Hitmonlee actually decides to kill Karma. So, very sadly, we lost our Wailord. But it wasn't in vain, we took that down. And then we headed all the way up to the gym leader, Ramos. The 4th gym leader of the run. So he starts off with a Cottony. And as you can imagine, once again we lead Space. So we start off with a V-Create. And we take down a Cottony. Next up then comes in Kingdra. So again, V-Create. And we one-shot the Kingdra. And then nextly I've got the last Pokemon, which with another V-Create we do one-shot again. And that will be enough to beat the 4th gym leader. Now, in the 5th gym of the run back in Lumoy's city, we have to end up fighting this Typhlosion in the gym. Now, the level cap's really bad in this game. It's very easy to over level, so right now Deoxys is in the PC at level 37, Lick is in the PC at level 37, So I've got to try and clear out the gym with these Pokemon. And well, basically, Weather Ball does pretty much no damage to Typhlosion. I can't work out its type. It uses a Flame Burst, pretty much puts Cloud onto its going to die territory. So I've got to decide here if I'm going to sack Cloud or sack one of my other Pokemon. Either way, I knew someone was going to have to go down. And I decided the Pokemon we was going to have to lose was sadly Cloud. We go for the Weather Ball, puts Typhlosion down into Half-Life, and Typhlosion finishes us off. After checking the speeds, I saw its Sect was going to have to be my best option here, and I sent that out. So I tried to go for a Dragon Claw, hits me with Poison Tail. Now I'm a Grass Fairy type I think, so that actually done like 4 times damage. But now Typhlosion's very weak. Sandstorm puts us onto a very low life as well, and I decide now I also have to sack Sect. I send out Float with Typhlosion on very low life. It's basically now or never, because if Flow goes down, I have to now look for a whole nother Pokemon. He goes for Submission, it thankfully misses. We go for Surf, and we take down Typhlosion, so very luckily we did get through there. But with few of our Pokemon dead, we did have to now go look for another Pokemon. Hey! Yes, let's go! Let's go! Ah, that's so nice. I'm so happy with that. Stay in the Pokeball. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Hey! Damn, it's an ice type too. That's going to change when it evolves though. But anyway, let's go give it its nickname. We're going to go call this Haxo. And yeah, perfect. So basically what happens here is we go into the 5th gym leader, Clement. And we're going to start off with, you know who, Deoxys. I mean, I want to keep my Pokemon alive in the run because, obviously, when you're shiny hunting at an odds of 1 in 4,096, you don't want your Pokemon to die too often. Let's be serious. So, we start off with Deoxys, we go for a V-Create, we take down a Hippopotas. It's actually got Imposters, so it turns into a Scrafty, but either way, that does not matter. You know, we took it down with a one-shot V-Create, so we move on to the next Pokemon regardless. The next Pokemon that comes out now is the actual Hippopotas. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go for another V-Create just to take that down. So we go for this. It also one-shots the Hippopotas. And then the last Pokemon comes. And the last Pokemon here is a Prinplup. So what we're going to do is we're going to go for another V-Create. We're going to take this down real quick. And that's Clement defeated. Now, not much happens between here and the 6th gym, so we're just going to go straight into the 6th gym leader, Valerie, here. And basically for Valerie, again, you know what we're going to start off with. We're going to start off with Deoxys, and we're going to go for our V-Creates because basically Deoxys' defenses aren't very good. So we go for V-Create and we actually miss. So you can see here how much Hurricane actually does in damage. But I decided to risk it and go for another V-Create anyway. I was in crit range, but I knew I was faster and I felt I could one-shot if I actually do pull the shot off. And we do because it's super effective. So Noivern goes down, and then the next Pokemon that comes out is Surskit. So for Surskit, I already know I'm going to one-shot this. So I go for a V-Create again, and we go take this down. And then lastly comes out a Slowking. So for Slowking, I was a tiny bit hesitant because I know its defenses can be quite good as well. So I wasn't sure what to go for, but I decided to go for it anyway because I am +2 defense, +2 special defense. So we go for another V-Crate. This would put us to +3 as well in both of those stats. We go for the V-Crate. It's actually super effective. We take down the Slowking, and that's also the 6th gym leader defeated. So again, not really much happens here from the end of the 6th gym to the outside of the 7th. But outside the 7th, we have to get into a battle with Serenus. So we go get into this battle anyway. She's got 4 Pokemon this time, but that's not an issue. She sends out Persian. For all the main battles, I'm probably going to start with Deoxys. So we send out Deoxys here. And Deoxys, again, is just going to go for some V-Create spams and probably sweep. So we start off the fight going with a V-Create, of course. V-Create will one-shot the Persian. And then next up, Serena's going to send out her Floatzel. So I'm +1 defense, +1 special defense. I'm not really scared of Floatzel. Also, it's probably not a water type in this game. So we go for a V-Create again. and this will one-shot the Floatzel, so even better. Then a third Pokemon comes out. So for Raticate, we're going to V-Create, and we're also going to take that down. So that's 3 out of 4 Pokemon took out from Serena now. And then lastly, she's going to send out a Shieldon. So for the Shieldon, we give it another V-Create, take that down, and that's Serena defeated. So next up now, we go ahead into the 7th gym with Olympia, and we're going to start off with Space, of course. And she starts off with a Coffin, so this shouldn't be too hard to take down. And basically what we're going to go for here is we're going to go for a V-Create on the Coffin. This should one-shot, I'm sure it will, even if it's not very effective. And basically it just takes down the Coffin, so perfect. V-Create was honestly more OP than what Overheat would have ever been. And I can't believe I actually wanted Overheat. Like, V-Create wasn't even something I thought about before this. But yeah, another V-Create here will take down the Silcoon as well. This gym leader's got a terrible team. Can you imagine if I found something like Overheat as well and got it onto the moveset? This thing would be broken. But then Pansear comes out. And basically for Pansear here, we're going to go for one more V-Crate. Take down the Pansear. And that's the 7th gym leader, Olympia, defeated. Now we have to go back into Lumoy City and fight in the hideout with Lysandre. So this is Lysandre 1. And basically, you know how it goes. They're going to start off with Meganium. We're going to start off with Deoxys. And we're going to do what we can. Deoxys here with a V-Create is going to take down the Meganium. And then Lysandre's next Pokemon's a Zygarde. But it's nothing to worry about again. Even though we don't actually one-shot. It goes for a Mud Shot on us. And actually ups our speed as well. And it does it twice because its ability is Parental Bond. So instead of going for a V-Crate again and taking it down, I actually go for a knockoff here and hope it kills. And the reason I went for that is because I wanted to keep my 2 other V-Creates. It gives us another Mud Shot. And basically with the Parental Bond, it's going to put us down to 39 HP. But now it's definitely going to die, so we go for another knockoff and we take that down. But now it's getting a bit worrying because Deoxys is on low HP. So we're going to have to make a few decisions. Their next Pokemon is Tauros. And basically what we have to decide to do here is we have to decide to switch. Now who we're going to switch into is the question. And what I decide out of all my Pokemon is I'm actually going to switch into Lick. So we send Lick in here. And he goes for a Nasty Plot. And then we go for back an attack order. It hits us with Takedown first though. And does about 29 damage. Then we go hit it with an attack order. But it's not very effective, so we can't actually work out what type it is. So we're basically trying to figure out what type it is. And when we go for Dual Chop here, it doesn't affect, so we know it's a fairy type. So what we've got to keep trying to go for now is stuff like Bubble Beam. Now Tauros is taking these hits crazily. There's not actually too much we can do against it. And I still don't really know what my hidden power is at this point, but I think it's fighting type. I think that kind of confirms it because I used it on a fairy type. So it's not going good at all. It goes for a takedown there, puts us down into 63 HP. But it looks like it's getting close for us to kill as well. So we're going to go for another Bubble Beam there. We're going to put it down onto very, very, very low life. And then we're going to go for another Bubble Beam. It goes for Brick Break here for some reason. And Brick Break puts us down to 50 HP. So when we go for a Bubble Beam, now we take down the Tauros. And the next up comes out an Unknown. So for Unknown, I probably do still need to switch here. But I'm not too worried about it as well because it's an Unknown. But you never know. So I gotta make the switch anyway over into Haxo. We dodge the move it goes for. And now we look at our moves and we go for a Fly. We hit with Fly, knock it down into one shot. And then we go for another Fly just because we know it's definitely going to take it down when we do connect. So on the very next turn, we fly back down, hit the Unknown with Fly, take it down, and that's Lysandre 1 finished. And that's Lysandre 1 finished. Now, while trying to actually clear out this hideout, we get into a battle with this guy here. And while trying to clear out the trainers in the hideout, we basically get into this fight here. And they start off with an Oddish. Now, Oddish isn't too scary, of course. We send out our Haxor, and we're going to go take that down. And basically, in this fight here, we take down the first Pokemon, and then the next Pokemon I send out is an Aerodactyl that hits us with a very strong head smash. So we're worrying about Haxo right now because it's on low life. It obviously goes for another head smash and misses. We hit it with Fly, and we don't actually do much damage to it at all. So now we are forced to switch or we're going to lose Haxo. So we go look at our Pokemon on who to switch to, and I decide Flo needs to be sacked. It goes for another head smash, and we say goodbye to Flo. So with it on low life now, I know it's faster than Haxo, but we have Mach Punch, so I'm going to take that down. And basically we can then move on. Now, I'm not too sure if I'm going to keep these ones in here because I'm not really sure if they're important fights or not. But she starts off here with a Durant. We start off with Deoxys and we go for a V-Create and take it down. And then on the very next turn, she's going to send in a Lumineon. And we're going to basically do the same thing here as well. So we're going to go for a V-Create. Lumineon's going to take the V-Create. And Lumineon's going to go down. With Mabel defeated, we then get the key for the lift. And we go fight this guy now. I think his name is Zero Sick. I'm not even going to bother trying to pronounce that. But he starts off with a Staravia. I start off with Deoxys. We go for a V-Create and we take that down. And then nextly he's got a Spinarak as well. So we are also going to go take that down as well. We're actually going to go for a Mystical Fire here as well. And it one-shot, so that's fine. With him defeated, we've now got to go and head into Geosenge Town, into the Team Flare headquarters for Lysandre 2. In our battle of Lysandre 2, he's going to start off with Ariados. We send out a Deoxys. So we start off and take down the Ariados with V-Create. Then Gengar comes. So for Gengar again, the next Pokemon, we're going to V-Create again and also take that down. And then Chestnut comes as the third Pokemon. So again, I'm not too worried about this. We're just going to go for another V-Create. And that actually doesn't one-shot. But because we are plus like 3 defense now, it's not going to do too much damage with that move. Even though it does about 62 damage, so that's still quite a lot. Then one more attack there will take down the Chestnut. And we are actually on quite lowish HP. Well, I wouldn't say it's lowish, we're at about midlife. Then Latias comes out. So basically for Latias, I just went straight away for a V-Create. Because I thought, you know, I'm plus 4 now. It shouldn't be too bad. So we go for it and we do take it down. So that's Lysandre 2 defeated. So right after this, we go ahead into Lysandre 3. And in this fight, he's going to start off with a Yanmega. Deoxys is already up front anyway, so we're going to start off with Deoxys. And we're going to go for a V-Create on the Yanmega. This V-Create on the Yanmega will be enough to one-shot. And then the next Pokemon coming in is Miltank. So again, for Miltank here, nothing to worry about. We're just going to go for a V-Create. And it takes it down. So we're now moving on to Lysandre's third Pokemon. And it's a Gulpin. So basically, I'm just going to go for another V-Create here. Because it's just perfect to set up on, really. So now we're plus 3 defense, plus 3 special defense. So we are going into his guaranteed Mega Pokemon with an advantage. His guaranteed Mega Pokemon here is a Medicham. So he's going to send that out. And what I'm going to go for here is I'm going to go for another V-Create. And we do go for the V-Create and it actually misses as well. And seeing that we're actually at plus like 4 there, plus 3, it actually does a lot of damage. And now I'm in crit range and I'm starting to panic a little. Also the Terrakion is the Exernus. But it's not shiny, so I can't use it, but it forced it into my team, basically. So if you're wondering why that's there, that's why. So we send out Lick. And Lick takes a Crab Hammer as well. And it doesn't do too much damage, so I'm going to stay in with Lick here. And I go for an attack order. We still don't actually know what type it is, so it's quite worrisome. And it goes for a Head Smash as well, and puts Lick onto very, very low life. Also, attack order is not very effective, so we're not sure what type it is, and we're not sure what to do. So basically, what we've got to decide now is, what are we going to do? Because if it does hit us with a Head Smash again, it's going to take down Lick. It's also going to take down Deoxys, so I can't switch there. And it's probably going to take down Haxor as well. So I decided to stay in. And I just go for a Dual Chop, but it hits us with another Head Smash. And because of that, we lose our starter Pokemon Lick. Its life goes down pretty well though. So now, I feel like it's safe to probably send in space and go for another V-Create. The only thing is I have to risk missing. It's only 5% chance to miss, 95% chance to not, so I decided to take the risk. We go for V-Create, and we do take down the Medicham. With that done, that's Lysandre defeated, and we can move on. So basically, this part gets actually quite annoying, so I've got to fight Sycamore, and then I find out I've got to fight Shauna, Tiana, and Trevor all at once, so it's kind of annoying, because I don't actually feel like these fights are important as well, but I'm probably going to keep them in regardless. But yeah, so we start off against Sycamore's Shedinja. We take that down with a V-Create, and then the next Pokemon that comes in is a Beautifly. So I already know what type this is. It's Grass Fairy because I had one. So we're going to go for another V-Create here, and it's super effective, so it will kill. And then lastly comes out Vileplume. So for Vileplume here, again another V-Create. We one-shot that with a critical hit, and that's Sycamore defeated. So as I was saying, basically with Sycamore defeated, we pretty much almost instantly get into a battle with Shauna. So it's pretty annoying, honestly. When we go get into this battle with Shauna, we start off with Space. Space is just going to start off with some V-Creates, do what it can, take down the Nuzleaf, and then the next Pokemon that comes out will also get taken down by another V-Create, so we take down the Frostlass. And then lastly, we're going to go for one more V-Create and take down our final Pokemon to win the fight. But that's not it, because right after this fight, we have to get into a fight with Tiano as well. So annoyingly, we're actually immediately in a fight with Tiano. Now, I still don't feel like these are important battles, but I feel like because they're rival ones, I should still keep them in. Either way though, they didn't heal us after that fight, so I'm actually running low on V-Creates as well. But yeah, we go for a V-Create here on Tiano's Whirlipede, and we take that down. And then he sends in his second Pokemon hit, which is a Boldore. So I actually don't go for a V-Create here because I know it's got worse special defense than defense. So I go for a Mystical Fire and take that down. Then the next Pokemon that comes out is a Gabout. So for here, we go for another Mystical Fire because I actually know I've got to fight Trevor. I remember this. So basically, we go for some Mystical Fires and we take down the Gabout. But what I didn't realise, at the end of this fight, they actually do nicely heal you before you fight Trevor. But either way, we head into the Trevor fight, and he's starting off with his Gothitelle. So for Gothitelle here, I send out Space because it's still in my lead. Couldn't really change it. I probably wouldn't have changed it either, let's be honest. But yeah, so we start off with a V-Create here, and we take down the Gothitelle. And then nextly, he sends out his next Pokemon, and that's a Golurk. So for Golurk, I'm also going to go for another V-Create. Now we've got all our PP back. And then his last Pokemon comes as a Cradilly. So for Cradilly again, another V-Create. We're going to take that down and defeat Trevor. Shit! I haven't even been looking long. But yeah, basically we find ourselves there a shiny Tangela, and we also capture it in a Pokeball. Now what's crazy is, I don't know where, but somewhere in the run, we actually did manage to find Ancient Power. So I go teach a TM, and it's actually learnable by Tangela as well, so that's perfect. We're actually able to evolve it. And then basically, we find this. Something just shined. What was it? Skrelp. Okay, Skrelp, I'll take it. Then basically, we go evolve Skrelp over into a Dragalge. I think that's how you pronounce that, I don't even know. But with that done, we're able to go into the 8th gym and start trying to clear out some Pokemon inside so we can get to the gym leader. And well, basically, in this fight, it wasn't going so well. This isn't the gym leader, this is one of the trainers inside. I have to go make the hard switch over into Kudzu here. Now remember, this Emboar is possibly not a fire type because it's a randomizer. So it goes for a Soul Strike there. And it actually does still quite a bit of damage. And I tried to go for a Bolt Strike, but what I didn't think it would know is Heat Crash. It goes for that, and Kudzu, only after having it for a short time, already died. So that's our 6th death of the run. We were able to take down the Emboar after this by switching into Space. And then it means we can now move on to the 8th gym leader. The 8th gym leader here starts off with a Seedot. I was actually getting quite lucky with the gym leaders Pokemon because they weren't always too good. Seedot here is basically perfect setup for V-Create, so we're going to start off with a V-Create. We're going to take down the Seedot, and then the next Pokemon that comes in is a Venomoth. So for Venomoth here, we're also going to give it another V-Create, but we actually miss. It goes for a high jump kick as well, but thankfully doesn't do lots of damage, but it still does quite a lot. But then we go for another V-Create, and we one-shot the Venomoth. And now we're down to the 8th gym leader's last Pokemon. And what he sends out here lastly is Florges, so we go for another V-Create. It actually hits us first as well, but it doesn't do too much damage. Then Deoxys comes along, uses V-Create, and Florges goes down. With that done, we've beaten the 8th gym leader of the run, which means we can start moving on to the Elite Four. So basically, for the Elite Four here, we've put ourselves at a level cap of 65. And while in the grass looking around, we actually do find an Execute here. Now sadly, I wasn't actually voice recording for this one, so we don't have a reaction unfortunately, but we go give this a Pokeball, we capture it up, and we notice here that it's a Rock Fairy type, but that Rock Fairy is actually going to change when it evolves. But either way, it doesn't matter. It's a shiny, so we're going to take it. I'll go give it the nickname of Tropic, and we move on. So basically, we had one more fight before we could get into Victory Road. And that was against this person here. So they actually had a pretty crazy team as well. They start off here with a Kyurem, and we start off here with Space again. Space is going to go for a V-Create, And we're going to one-shot the Kira, unfortunately. And then next up, they send out a Sudowoodo. So for Sudowoodo, it's not a problem. We're going to go for a V-Create, and we should take this down with a one-shot, which we do. But then lastly, they send out a Mewtwo. Now this Mewtwo was a problem, honestly. I go for a V-Create here. I have no idea what type it is. I'm just thinking, oh yeah, we're going to one-shot it like normal. But it actually made it a big problem because it weren't very effective. Now, the thing was, if this was a fairy type, none of our moves except from Last Resort are actually going to do any damage to it. What I decide the next move I'm going to go for here is I'm going to go for a knockoff, just so I can get rid of any item it's possibly holding. And what we find out here is it's not actually a fairy type, but it's probably not in knockoff range still just yet. So what I'm going to go for here is I'm going to go for a switch, and then I find out it's actually got a shadow tag ability. So I can't even switch out, which means I've got to stay in. And what I go for here is I go for a Mystical Fire, because I don't think it's in knockoff range and I don't think it's in V-Create range. So I'm just going to chip it down the tiniest bit and then go for a Last Resort. All I know is Last Resort's definitely going to kill. We thankfully take down the Mewtwo. Imagine if that was like something ghost type, man. That would have been so unfortunate. But yeah, we do take that down. And then I realised that I've got to get a few more Pokemon to my team because we can't go into the Elite Four with 4 Pokemon. So we go back to hunting. Hey! Yes! No fucking way! Oh, I've been wanting one of these for so long. So basically, we get our Bulbasaur. And with the level it is, it immediately evolves into an Ivysaur after not much training. And it's actually pretty close to level 36 as well. So we only have to do a little bit of training to get it into a Venusaur. And after we do finally evolve it into a Venusaur, I feel like it's time to start clearing out Victory Road. And while going through Victory Road, we do get stopped by our last rival fight of the run against Serena. In this fight, she's going to start off with a Venonat. We're going to send out Space. And we're going to start off with a V-Create as well. One shot the Venonat, perfect to set up on. And then we move into our second Pokemon now, which is a Cottony, which we're also going to one-shot. That's not a problem to us. So we go for V-Create and we take that down. Then we go get into our third Pokemon here, which is the Magmortar. Now this one's a bit more worrying than the others, but I still felt like it was going to be okay. I go for a V-Create on it. It's actually not very effective, so it does survive on very, very low HP, and it goes for a Focus Blast as well. But at this point, we are +3. But a critical hit actually almost took us down. So, yeah, it's very scary. I go for a Mystical Fire here as well, because I know it will kill at this point. But it was still pretty risky to stay in there. We're now on 19 HP, so we were going to have to switch if we wanted to keep Space alive. Obviously, I could go for the kill here as well. But if it survives, we're screwed. So, I do have to make a switch. Also, I did have Flo in my team here as well. Flo is dead, so it's not used in the fight. But basically, it's the only Pokemon I had that could learn Surf, so I had to keep it in my team. We're going to make the switch here on the Combuskin over to Sapo. And basically, it goes for a Hyper Beam that doesn't do too much damage because we're a ground type. And what I decide here is I'm going to Mega Evolve and we're going to go for a Night Daze. Now, Mega Evolving wasn't actually too much of a great idea with Venusaur, because Venusaur actually would turn into a fighting type after we use our Mega Stone. We also miss a Strength there because of its typing, and we go for a Night Daze. Take that down. I should have realised that was Ghost, but I sort of had a feeling it was Psychic as well. We take down a Combuskin now. Then we get against Slurpuff. We go for another Night Daze. It doesn't do too much damage, and we also dodge a Blue Flare there before we actually go check our type. And that's where we actually did realise it was a fighting type. So what we do here is we decide to stay in, and we go for a Strength this time. Strength here also doesn't do pretty much any damage to the Slurpuff either, and it puts us down into around about probably one shot, so we are going to have to switch. Now before I make the switch here, I checked a few stats on my Pokemon, and I decide the Pokemon we're going to switch into here is our Dragalg. Dragalg here is going to still keep over 100 life, which is good. And we're going to go for a Searing Shot. We also dodge a Gunk Shot there, which is pretty good. But Searing Shot, we notice, actually doesn't do any damage either. So we still can't work out what type it is. This time it does hit us with Gunk Shot. It puts us down into one shot. So we go for our Steam Eruption. And thankfully, it was super effective and was able to take it down. With this done, that's Serena defeated. But we still only had 5 Pokemon. So we had to go look for another Shiny to join our team, so we could actually move on to the Elite Four. But basically what happened here is we get against a Zapdos right at the end. And I've got to make another sacrifice because Zapdos is probably going to kill us. So I go send out Tropic. Tropic takes one of the hits, but doesn't live long enough to take another. It does get taken down here by the Zapdos. And that equals our 7th death of the run. From here though, I can make a safe switch over into Space. And well, Space actually didn't have any V-Creates, so we had to go for a Mystical Fire. But Mystical Fire thankfully was super effective. We took down the Zapdos. And then I decided that I needed to start getting some more teammates, especially after a death as well. Like, I needed 2 new Pokemon. So we go back to one of the tunnels. I think it's called Terminus Cave, I'm not too sure. Yes! Oh, finally, this one's been taking ages. Shame it had to be the Cacnea out of all of them as well. Hey, you know what? I'm happy with that. Well, and then also outside Terminus Cave, we start hunting again and find this. Oh wait, that's a shiny. Fuck. Alright, let me capture this up real quick and I think we can finally move on. Basically, with the Cacnea and Wartortle joining our team, we go evolve them, turning Wartortle into Blastoise. And we also evolve our Cacnea into a Cacturne before then heading into the Elite Four. So this is it, finally, the Elite Four, the final battles of a run. So we start off against Malva here, and Malva starts off with Wolverine, and we start off with Deoxys. Deoxys here, we let it go for a V-Create, and V-Create will take down the Wolverine. Next up comes out her Unpheasant, and we go for another V-Create again. Now this doesn't actually one-shot, leaving the Unpheasant just above Healing Life. But after it goes for that move with Recoil, it does get put down into what I think would be Healing Life, but Malva doesn't heal it for some reason. Maybe it was just above, but we go for a V-Create, take that down, and then she sends out a Lucario, so this is our 3rd Pokemon now. We go for another V-Create here, and we finish that off. And now we're down to our final Pokemon, so after we take down this next Pokemon, we've basically finished 1/4 of the 4 trainers. And her last Pokemon is a Nidorina, so we go for another V-Create, we one-shot that, and that's Malva defeated. And so now we are at 1/4 of the trainers defeated, moving on into the second room. And in this second fight, we have to fight against Wikstrom. So for Wikstrom here, he's going to start off with his Hitmontop, and we're going to send out Space again because Space is too good, honestly. So we start off with Space, we go for a V-Create. I have to remind people as well, this is stab damage V-Create, like. Deoxys is a fire type in this run, so that's insane. The next Pokemon that comes in is a Ducklet. We go for another V-Create and take that down. And then the 3rd Pokemon comes along. And the 3rd Pokemon here is a Zoroark, so what we're going to do is we're going to go take that down. And now we're down to Wikstrom's last Pokemon, or Wikstrom's last Pokemon. And that's a Ninjask. So again, we're going to go for a V-Create, try and take that down. But what we do realise here is it's actually got the ability Sturdy, so we're not going to one-shot it, unfortunately. And then Wikstrom's actually going to heal it on the next turn as well. Now, what I decided to do here was I decided to go for Freeze Dry. We knock it straight back down onto Sturdy again. And then we go for it again as well. But Wikstrom heals once again, so he's going to put Ninjask back up to full life. We're going to hit it once again with another Freeze Dry, knock it down onto 1 HP, and now finally this turn we can finally kill it. So we go for another Freeze Dry, we defeat the Ninjask, and that's Wikstrom defeated, meaning we've now finished 2 out of 4 trainers of the Elite Four. So with Wikstrom down, we move into the 3rd room, Dranza. Dranza here was a nice easy one, to be honest. We start off with Space. And basically, we're just going to go for a V-Create and we're going to spam the hell out of this move because it's going to take out all of the Pokemon. And then the next Pokemon comes out, and that's a Flabebe. Now, I know this is actually a Steel type because I had one myself. So I go for another V-Create and we go take this down. And then the next Pokemon that comes out is a Timpole. So I know I'm also going to one-shot this with V-Create, so we go for that. Take down the Timpole, and now we're down to our last Pokemon. Her last Pokemon that comes in is Cobalion. So at +3 defense, +3 special defense, +3 speed, I'm not really worried about this at all. I'm going to go for a V-Create again, and it's actually also one-shots as well. So we take down the Cobalion, and that's Dranza defeated, meaning we've finished 3 out of the 4 battles of the Elite Four and can move on into the 4th room. So it's the last member of the Elite Four, and then after this we've got the champion, but for now we have to focus on beating Seibold. I'm not sure what his name is, and I'm probably not going to try to pronounce it again as well. But yeah, so he sends out Rhydon here, and we're going to go send out Space. We actually notice as well, that we did not restore the PP of our moves. So we've only got 2 V creates for this battle, which made it quite tough, especially considering Rhydon tanked it with over half life. So we use our first V create there, get hit with a Draco Meteor. And then what we're going to do here on this turn is we're going to go for another move. So I'll go for a Freeze Dry here, seeing what this does. And Freeze Dry actually doesn't do too much, but it does freeze the Rhydon. So from here I go for another V create because I can see it's in range. We take down the Rhydon, but now with no V create and no stab moves, I'm not really sure what we're going to do here. And I decide I'm actually going to go for a knockoff on it, see what it does. And we actually do put it into very low life, and then it hits us with an earthquake. So at +2 it doesn't do too much. We know we're going to kill it with another knockoff, and we take that down. His third Pokemon then comes out and it's a Fletchlinda. And we're probably just going to spam Last Resort now because we've used all 4 of our moves now. So we go for Last Resort, and this will take down the Fletchlinda. And then lastly we're down to their last Pokemon. So what they send out now is a Zekrom, which is actually pretty scary to be honest. But I decide I'm going to stay in and go for a Last Resort, and we do go for that. And it does actually keep him over half life. So I see that happen, and I go for a knockoff to try and give it that little bit extra, as I see that Egg Bomb shouldn't do too much damage. And it doesn't do too much, it puts us down to 37. We go for a Last Resort again there, take down the Zekrom, and that's all 4 trainers of the Elite Four defeated, meaning we've got one more battle of the run left to defeat, and that is the champion, Diantha. So we head into the final battle. So we get into the battle, she sends out her Houndour, and we send out Space, our leading Pokemon. Now Space here is going to go for a V-Create on the Houndour, and we are going to go take this down. The next Pokemon that comes out after this is an Amora. Now this sets off a Sandstream, we go for a V-Create again and do take this down. And then the next Pokemon that comes out is Zwellius, so again we go for a V-Create here. And we actually don't one-shot this as well, we put it onto very low life as it hits us with a Giga Impact. Now she's going to heal on this turn, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit it with a little move and then go for a V-Create again on the next turn. But she doesn't actually heal here, so when we go for a Freeze Dry it just takes down the Zwellius. And then she sends out a Miltank. Now we saw with a Miltank earlier that we do one-shot this, so we go for a V-Create and take it down. And now we're down to our last 2 Pokemon. So with her on her last 2 Pokemon, she now sends out a Cryogonal. So we go for a V-Create on this thing, and we also one-shot this, which is perfect. Now meaning she's got one last Pokemon left. Now it is a guaranteed Mega Evolution, so we're not sure what it's going to be. But what we find out is she actually sends out now her Scizor. Her Scizor comes in, it Mega Evolves. We go for another V-Create. And it actually avoids the attack and goes for a V-Create on us as well. But what's nice about her Scizor is her one doesn't have Contrary, so that actually gets it minus speed, minus defense, minus special. But we're now out of V-Create, so we've got to go for a Freeze Dry on this thing. And Freeze Dry actually does pretty okay damage. They go for another V-Create and drop us into very low life. And what we go for here is a Freeze Dry because we feel like it's going to kill. Now it actually survives on very, very low life and goes for another V-Create. Now I don't mind if a Pokemon goes down in the last fight of the run because it doesn't matter too much if we lose anyone important here. But Deoxys actually survives on very low life, so I found that crazy. We go for a knockoff, but sadly she heals up, so it's looking pretty bad for our Deoxys here now. But now that I've used all 3 of my moves, I feel like to myself, I've just got to go take the risk of Last Resort. So we go for Last Resort, and it is enough to take down this Scizor. So with Scizor taken down, that means we've beaten Diantha, we've beaten the challenge, we've beaten the run. Hopefully you've all enjoyed. Please, if you have, leave a like and a comment for me. This one took a very, very long time with finding all the shinies for the run. The support would be massively appreciated. Also, if you're new to the channel and you find that you've enjoyed the video, I'd love it for you to subscribe as well, because I'd love for you to stick around. And with all that said, it's been Ant, and I will see you all in another video very soon. Peace out.